Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lili nishmasim imarosi ruspas Mordechai. L'schos b'ni Akiva Simcha ben Fega. Rabbi Sai. We're about to start another Masechta, Masechtas Megillah. And we got to start working. We have 1,500 Gemaras that need to be given out already. All you need to do is bring one friend. One friend.
Looks like a campaign for the governor of America.
That's what. It's a lot more than that, my friend. It's a lot more than that. Tell your friend to go to join.dafyomi.com to receive his free Gemara, and then you go to growtheshir.com. And if you're going to a chasana, bring some Gemaras with you. You go to growtheshir.com and get some free Gemaras. It's unbelievable. You can bring anybody you want. You can bring your granddaughter if you want. Bring your grandson. Yes, you can bring your grandson.
Not your granddaughter. Not your granddaughter. Your grandson.
Look at this. These are the guys working hard, tirelessly. I got to say, Yishkoyach to Shuli Wassertil, right over here. He's the one in charge of the booths at the Aguda convention. He donated from his own money. I think it was about half of the thing. He gave us a great spot. So Yishkoyach. Look at this. These are people that went out of their comfort zone. So should you. One person, that's it. Why are they doing this? Look at this. Levi Gross from Williamsburg. You think he wants to be there? Talk to all the Misnagdim and the Litvaks that come to the Aguda convention. He went out of his comfort zone. Who else do we have here? Eli Zelengod. And of course, Chaim Peretz. Look at this. Chaim Peretz Levin. Peretz, what did I say? Peretz Chaim. Peretz Chaim. I can't tell you. Dozens of hours standing on his feet. Why? Because I was thinking about it. You know, just last week there was a Brinks truck full of money that the doors opened up right where we live in Skokie, Illinois. All the cash went out on the street. And everybody's running and grabbing money. You see the videos, it's crazy. One guy even, the first thing he did was blacked out his license plate and then started grabbing money. They caught a bunch of guys. The two yeshiva guys, one of them is semi-related to me, Kamish, picked up the money, $790, and gave it back. Made a tremendous Kiddush Hashem, was on all the news and everything. But that's what Reb Peretz Chaim believes. He's there at the Aguda convention, chopping money. Chopping schusim, that's it. That's how you have to look at it. You too, just bring one friend, V'shalom Yisrael. I want to show you a picture here from our good friend Akiva Solkowitz, who's actually one of the sponsors of Maseches Megillah. He says like this, Rebelli, I'm on the way to Reb Shaila. Never stop learning. It is the fuel of my life. 6 months ago, this would be an iPhone in my hand with a movie, and now it's my Gemara, thanks to F200 and you. Akiva Solkowitz, President and CEO, Diamond Auto Leasing. Look at this. But I put 2 arrows here. Of course. No way. Judah. The tzitzis. I don't know what he's doing here. I don't know if it's just like something, or maybe it's like a sign to me. The chasana thing. Ich weiß nicht. You should be ma'ayin. Everybody with their own. Wearing the merch, of course. Way to go, Akiva. I got to read this real quickly. There's a beautiful email. And also, he says like this. Dear Aveli, I was never a learner, even 40 years ago when I was in yeshiva. I live in the 5 towns, but on Shabbos, just before the beginning of Maseches Shana, I was in New Jersey for an Ofruf, and my host was Dr. Listhouse. Now, you know Dr. Listhouse sponsored $25,000 towards Maseches Megillah, free Gemaras, and we have to give those out. We have to. $25,000 sitting there on the line. A friend of my days in yeshiva who I don't see very often. I came down early Shabbos morning. To my surprise, like this, was sitting at the dining room table, Gemara in front of him, learning the daf. I was a little surprised, as this was not the man I knew 40 years ago. I started speaking to him about it, and he convinced me to tune into the MDY Shir, especially since the new Masech was starting in 2 days. I was apprehensive, as I hadn't learned Gemara with any regularity in more than 40 years. 40 years. I decided I would try, but I wouldn't tell anybody, including my wife, that I was going to attempt to start Daf Yomi. I'm going to cry soon. All right, to my surprise, before I knew it, I'd finished Rosh Hashanah with MDY and was able to make my first siyum. It was still a secret from anyone, including my wife. I was scared to be embarrassed if I ended up quitting. You know what? Could you read this rest? I'm gonna. Okay, Chazal tell us that if you want to have a habit or make a change, if you continue the action for 40 days, it will become permanent. Last Friday night, sitting at the guest in my friend's home in Yerushalayim, I raised my wine glass during dinner and made a toast to myself, revealing to my wife and friends that I had started Daf Yomi with last Friday being my 40th day. I felt comfortable celebrating openly my completion of Maseches Rosh Hashanah, my first siyum ever. When you started the new Maseches Taanis on Sunday and dedicated to your son Akiva Simcha, I broke down in tears. I've been down the same road with my children, following professional advice from a psychologist and son of a Masada Kiddushin. I hugged my children even closer, and I'm seeing Baruch Hashem tremendous nachas today. Chazak, chazak, and untold thanks for bringing so much into my life. Into my life. Shelly Gollenbeck. Yishkoyach Shelly. All right, unbelievable. Yeah, Stan Fireman, what? Stan Fireman is here. Shalom Aleichem. What are you doing back? Beautiful. All right, Rabbi Sai. Oh, sponsors. Maseches Taanis is dedicated by the Kessler and Davis families Refuah shleima for Miriam Esther bas devora. I want to say the parnas hachodesh for the Calev, $10,000 is Chaim from Lakewood, and anybody could be mishtatif in that as well on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a minute. Everybody should be mishtatif. Oh, I forgot to mention that if you get a friend to come, you get to be in a raffle on a shas, an art school shas. Keep on forgetting about it. We also have to do a raffle for the other one. Very good. I'm going to say this before I forget this one. Sponsored in memory of Mati Kest, who passed away on Shabbos, young guy who was a close friend of many in MDY Los Angeles. Wow. How old was he? 42 years old, 43 years old. So Nechama should have an aliyah. Parnas HaChodesh. Kessler is sponsored by Eli, Nechama is Pנחס ben Moshe, Nechama is Rוחama Chaya from Pנחs, Nechama is Yחיאל Shregא ben Avraham Halevi, and Parnas HaChodesh Reuven Klein, my mother Nechama bas Calev. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh b'dvaroi. By the Hanas Brothers, in honor of the Hanasabzadeh and Krispin Benazera Families, and Shlomo Lalezarian, for inspiring us to join MDY. Surely, Wassertil, here we go. Lili Nishmas, my wife, his wife. Edna Bas, Rav Moshe, Menachem Halevi. We had a few of his sponsorships, and now I know who he is. There's a face to the picture. The guy in the Beketche, I think it's called. And the guy in charge of, no, Bamet, now I know him, the white beard, Hadras Panim. Renee and Philip Birn, in commemoration of the 50th yarzeit of my grandmother, Celia Ruck, Tziril Bat Harav Chaim. Lili Nishmat, Harav Yitchak Ben Shlomo. Rabbi Dr Irving Jacobs, by his loving family and his first yarzeit, former principal of Jews College in London, England, a leading expert in Midrash and Jewish studies, a loving father, grandfather, teacher. Whoa. The fine Braverman and Unger families would like to sponsor today's daf in honor of the 50th yarzeit of our husband, father, brother, brother-in-law, son-in-law, and uncle, Alan Braverman. Braverman. Alan Braverman, Eliezer Yehuda ben Yaakov Visora Fredo, in honor of Art Scroll. Oh, Donnie's brother-in-law, the fine and braver man. So why didn't he say anything? Stay there. Okay. Hey, your son is here. We should bring him up to the front, actually. In honor of Art Scroll, the Chavetz Chaim Heritage Foundation, and all that worked on the newly released Chavetz Chaim. I'm very excited about this, actually. I'm seeing this now. They came out finally with the Art Scroll Chavetz Chaim. Got to start up my say that. Anytime when I learned Chavetz Chaim, the Kvios, my Lashon Hara was much better. I mean, not that I said better Lashon. May this be a schos for you and all the Klal Yisrael. That was not a slip of the tongue. No, it really works. It works. If you learn the halachas, it works. Rabbi, I also want to say that David Samet, he was there on Friday at the Agudah convention all by himself, manning the booths. Nobody wanted to be there. They had to run back home. It was until 2 o'clock. And you had to get home. I don't know what time Shabbos is in America. Probably like 4-ish also. So, Yishkoyach Rabbi Yisai, you ready to come up here? Is he ready? Yes? Get over here! With the hoodie, I don't care. Yeah, get over here. If you come here, you don't have to send a picture to official that you're here. Shalom Aleichem. Tell everybody what your name is.
Shmuel Fine.
Shmuel Fine, Donnie Fine's son. And what's your grandfather's name?
My grandfather.
Fine, that also watches the daf. What's Tzvi? Is he still watching? Hi. Say hi to your grandfather. Shkoy for coming. What are you doing there? Official got you in here?
Man, I'm here to learn Torah.
Yeah, you're here to learn Torah. So you're going to come next Masechta also, right? Put you on the spot. Beautiful. Come on, give me a bracha.
See, now this is putting me on the spot.
Let's go. Give me a bracha. No. That this should go on for a while, you know. Health.
Happiness, health.
Shkoyach.
I did my best to finish out.
Amen. Shkoyach. Thank you. Tatzlacha, man. All right. So today's Daf Tezayin, and we're holding on top of Tezayin. Don't get excited. This always happens on Sunday morning. We're on the right spot. We are 4 lines down. Rechoiv, by the way, today's Daf, very, very easy Daf. It's basically a big chazara on yesterday. In fact, we're going to have a large piece repeated 3 times in a row on Amud Beis, literally, word for word almost. It's just the same sugya. We went through most of it yesterday. Big chazara, easy stuff. Rechoiv, Teva V'Sakim, Efer, Kfuro, and Maria, Simon. Lama Yaitzim L'Rechoiv. So, we said yesterday that after the 7 fast, it doesn't work, it's not raining, we take the Aron Kodesh and the Sefer Torah into the streets. Why? We were indoors in the shul, nothing happened. By the way, I have to say this, very, very bad news. Because of this whole corona situation, a new variant, they canceled the London Siyum. It's a terrible thing. Where we were looking forward, we have tickets, Nachman and I and other people from America already bought tickets to come, canceled. You have to wear masks there, and they're going to make us crazy coming in and leaving. It's a whole. So we have to enjoy what we have right now. It's a packed house. But we remember just a few short months ago, we couldn't be here. And even when we were here, we came back, there's 10 people, 15 people. Hopefully it doesn't get out of hand, but things are not looking very good. We have to daven. All right. So, we will be back. We will go to London, Be'ezer Hashem. And I do want to say tremendous shkoyach to all the guys in London. I know they spent a lot of money. And Dov Harris. And when I spoke to him last night, unbelievable. His emunah and bitachon, he didn't flinch. Well, this is what we're going to do. All the money. And they already had bands and photographers and microphones and the systems and zachin. And then they were going to fly this one in to surprise me and that one. The whole, everything. Crazy party. Be'ezer Hashem, it's going to happen. And it'll happen soon. Manchester, London, the whole zone. All right. Says the Gemara, why do we go out into the street? We went into a shul, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't answer us. Let's humiliate ourselves in public. This is galus. This is traveling out of where we're supposed to be. This is mamish galus. Yeah? Interesting. My benayu, what is the difference? This is why I remembered about this whole COVID thing. So, if I'm going from one shul to another shul, there's no b'zionus. I'm in a shul, but it is galus. You see what the Gemara says? It's galus. So if I have to leave my shul and I have to daven in my parking lot, I have to daven who knows where, that's galus. Even though it's down the block, it's galus. Galus is when you're not in the place that you're used to, that's galus. Why do we take the Aron Kodesh out? What does the Aron Kodesh do? We had a hidden vessel. The Aron Kodesh was indoors, and it became bazui and humiliated because of our averis. Now, Rashi brings the Yerushalmi that it's not in our Mishnah, but the Yerushalmi says that they would wear sacks and they would go to the Beis HaKfaros, says Rashi. That's why the Gemara later on is going to say, why do we go to Beis HaKfaros? It's not a question stam. Where is it mentioned? In Yerushalmi, it's mentioned Beis HaKfaros. How do you make a sack? You make it out of the goat hair. So we're telling Hashem, feathers. Well, noitzos, but they don't really have feathers. But fine, call it whatever you want. We are like animals. And animals don't have bchira, animals, you treat them well, treat us also. And why do we put ashes on top of the Aron Kodesh. Amar Rabbi Yehuda ben Pazim. Kloimar imoy anoichi betzara. Think about it. Where's the holiest place in the world? Right over here. I brought this for another reason, but once it's here, in Kodesh HaKadoshim. This is the holiest. What's in the Kodesh HaKadoshim? The Aron. The Aron. So we're taking a part of the holiest of the holies. It's not the same Aron, but it resembles the Aron. The Aron Kodesh, the Torah is in there, the Luchas. So we're taking that and we're bringing it in. And then that's HaKadosh Baruch Hu saying, Imay anoichi b'tzara. You have the ashes on your head, so am I going to participate in Yitzar, the ashes on the Aron. Rish Lakish Omar, B'chol tzaroisam loy tzar, loy with a vav. With all their tzaras, loy Hashem is going to be b'tzar with us. You see this idea, anyways, we have to be misnag b'midosav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ma'uracham avdaracham. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He is b'tzar with us. So we should be b'tzar with other people when they are b'tzar. Omer Benazera, Mireish, this is what I was saying yesterday. Mireish, the first time, when I noticed and they put the ashes on top of the Aron Kodesh, mizdazali li kule gufay. My entire body shook. I trembled. He took it seriously. To see ashes on top of Aron Kodesh, he shook, literally shook. And why do we put the ashes on top of everyone? It's interesting. So we have a machlokes between, remember these names. We put it in our heads to tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we are worthless. We're like Efer. To the point we said yesterday, there are those, and probably la halacha, the ashes of a human being don't even require burial. It's nothing. It's not a dead person. It's ashes. To remind us of Akedas Yitzchak. I saw just yesterday, I forgot who brings it, but it might be some medrash. I think like the Magen Avraham, I forgot who it was. I've never heard this. I'm sure you heard of it, but I didn't. That Yitzchak was actually burnt. You heard? Avi heard it. There was an Akedas Yitzchak and he was brought back or something. Okay, I never heard it. Yeah, that's where I saw it actually. The whole thing with Taisvis says that they should use human ashes, and where do you get human ashes? I didn't really follow through with that, but they say non-Jewish ashes, or then a kid came over to me, saw in the back of the Masifta that if an aver, just the limb falls off, there's no chiv kfura. I thought there is. He says there is, and then you can burn that. Okay. Lama yoitzin lebeis hakvaros. Sorry, my benayu ikebenayu offer stam, just dirt. Now, if it's to remind us that we are zero, dirt is zero. So you'll be yoitzin with dirt. But if it's to remind us about Akedas Yitzchak, dirt and Akedah have nothing in common. It has to be ashes from a fire. Lama yoitzin lebeis hakvaros. Why did Yerushalmi say they go into the beis hakvaros? So one shot is because we had the machlokes a second ago. Of Rabbi Levi Bar Chama and Rabbi Chanina. Oh no, sorry, that's later. Why do we go to Beis HaKvaros? To tell HaKadosh Baruch Hu, look, we're just like these. We are equal to these dead people. We're worthless. What do you want from us? So in order that the dead should ask for us. So if we just take the simple words, you go to the Beis HaKvaros to ask the dead to daven for us. What are we asking exactly? What's in the lashon? That the dead should daven for us, as if the dead have the ability to daven for us, which they do. So I thought it was fascinating. To me, this was fascinating. I'll tell you why. Because here, let me show you real quickly. Huh? No, not Dorish. Hold on, I'm going to get into it in a second. This Rabbi, I'm not going to open it right now. Yesterday, Chaim Goldring from Bet, Chassishi and Geman came here, and he gave me this gift. It's a Maseches Shekel, which is almost 200 years old. Because he said, I'm a descendant of the Maseches Shekel. He wanted to give me, this is over $1,000, I think, something like that. This beautiful gift. That's that. This right over here is the Elia Rabbah, and this is the first antique sefer I ever received in my life. I don't collect these. So last week, Mark Ashkenazi and Uncle Phil, they gave me this Elia Rabbah. They figured my name is Elio and Rabbah, Gaivid Elio, it goes together. Here it is, an antique, great, the Machzah Shekel. These are the two Svarim I received in 1 week. Now, why am I telling you this? Looking up there's a sefer in the back of the Mesifta, Pnini Halacha, and look at this. In one line, both of these two Svarim. The Machzah Shekel he brings, and the Elia Rabbah, right here. Are you allowed to, whether or not you're allowed to, it just happened last night. He gave it to me last night. I can't even make this up. He sent the shir, he gave it to me in front of everybody. And this, Mark Ashkenazi gave me a week ago, on my birthday, Tesvav Kislev. Fine. Brings here both the Machzah Shekel and the Elia Rabbah, they both say that you shouldn't be asking from a mace to daven for you. You should be saying in the schus of the mace, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should answer us. You daven HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're saying in the schus of mace. It's a long arichas in the Mishnah Berurah talks about it a lot. Okay.
That all you need is something to give you the Maril.
Yeah, the Maril. Actually, I was hoping that somebody would give me the Gra. It's $500,000 for one volume. My birthday is next year, Tesvav Kislev. Nachal Noam 2. I think there's one thing. I prefer the one with a lot of ha'aras, a lot of the tziyurim and agayis on the side. Okay. If you can't do that, then I'll take a little bit of the Chavetz Chaim and the Chazon Ish. Fine. Or, if you can't do any of those, bring one guy to the shir. Same exact thing. Same exact. Okay.
We go to the cemetery to daven to the
Yeah.
and to tell Hashem we like the dead, and then afterwards we say that we daven to the dead to ask Hashem. So in one way we're saying we're nothing like them, and then the second thing.
Listen, a mace can't accomplish anything. Zero. Cannot do one mitzvah. So a mace is nothing. Doesn't mean that a mace doesn't have the ability to ask Hashem. He's up there. He's close. He talks like a malach. What's a malach? Also nothing. In terms of us.
They have certainty.
But in terms of, we are in a place, we're in a world where we can be kind mitzvahs. Every second we're alive, we accomplish more and more. A mace can't accomplish anything. Zeo. There. That's what it means. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting there. I'm not done yet. Yes, very good. Our guest is saying very good. So the Pri Megadim asked the Kasha, he says in the Siddur, Ma'ana Lashon, it says Mefurish that you should ask, you're asking that the Mason should say a good word for us, put in a good word. So anyways, the Minchas Elazar says what you say. The Minchas Elazar says, to answer this Kasha, he says, you're there davening to Hashem, and the mace on his own goes and asks Hashem for you, and he says that's what the Gemara over here means. Kideshi vakshu aleinu. It doesn't say you're asking the mace. It says kideshi vakshu. They on their own. Mason racham. Very good. That's what happens when you listen to a lot of shiurim and a lot of things. This guy also left his job and he learns all day. Very good. Now I just want to hold on a second. Let me just finish this. 1 minute. No, not that. I'm still here in the Minchas Elazar. I just want to point out one very important thing. The Vilna Gaon says in the Geras Hagra that all Averis and Saras come from going to the Beis HaKfaris. That's the Vilna Gaon. He holds that. And in fact, he once went to his yarzeit, to his mother's yarzeit, and he told his brother he has tremendous charata. He never went back to his mother's cave ever again. He said, it's a tremendous problem. Now, Reb Chaim Vital says the same thing. Beis HaKfaris is a terrible, terrible place. So there are a lot of people that are makbid not to go, and unless it's tzaddikim, they go away 4 hours. But there are those, many that argue, obviously. Some Sofer, and then the Rebbeinu Eifshitz, you see that they went and they held of it.
Stories of Hasidah that went to the Beis HaKfaris. Okay. It's full of stories.
Okay, he's Mechulk on the Vilna Gaon. Reb Nachman Seltzer against the Vilna Gaon. Wow, unbelievable. Oh yeah, no, the Gemara. The Vilna Gaon didn't know the Gemara. Nachman Seltzer knows it, the Vilna Gaon didn't know. Unbelievable.
What do you do with that?
You have a kasha, so say it in the kasha. Don't say it as if you know better.
I don't know better. The Gemara says, not me, the Gemara.
Okay, you have to know how to.
Says Hasidah a million times.
You have a kasha. Okay, so ask a kasha. Ask it nicely. Very good. Very good. Don't start out with the Vilna Gaon with me, please. You any other one? You want to argue on Tanaim? Great. Not on the Vilna Gaon. I'm just kidding. Fine. Anyway, well,
that's a good kasha, by the way.
It's a bomb kasha. Bomb kasha. You could go to the Beis HaKfaras, and maybe if you're holding on a Madrega, these ruchos rois don't apply. But to us, we're simple people. The ruchos they stick to you. You have to know who you are. Yes, this, that. Fine. I'm just pointing it out. I'm not telling you not to go and yes to go. The Vilna Gaon held you're not supposed to. Many other people go, and there's some people, believe it or not, that daven the entire Rosh Hashanah by a caver. So in the middle of Beis HaKfaras. So there's many different things. Okay. Anybody who had a question here? We got to go by. Talking about going to a cave in Rosh Hashanah. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but there's a basic forest there. Don't you have to go through the Kfarim? Yeah.
You don't have to. Obviously, you haven't been there.
I've never been there.
No.
You don't know the Kfarim. No. Hold on. Bevrit, lo be'anglit. Okay, no. No. Yeah, the women shouldn't go. Oh yeah, that's why my wife. I want her to go. That's why she doesn't go. She knows the Geras Agra. Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. So he's pointing out that who? Calev. Said by Marazam. Very nice. Okay. There's different things. You have to know different things. Okay. You're entering. So what? How do you do it? You go there, you say Hamlotza, you ask B'schus, what do you do? I don't want to put you on the spot. Okay, fine. Next. Zok the Gemara. Where are we holding?
My benai.
Non-Jewish kvarim, they accomplished the first reason that we are nothing like the goyim, and that's what he was asking. What? We're nothing like the goyim. But they can't daven for you, so you don't have that one. Says the Gemara, "My har hamaria pligi bar Rabbi Levi bar Chama Rabbi Chanina." This is machlokes l'chayra because we brought two machlokes in before Rabbi Levi bar Chama and Rabbi Chanina. What is har hamaria? Rabbi say, what happened on har hamaria? Harav Beis. We're not going to London. It's terrible. No, what happened to Hamaria? Rabbi say seriously. Anybody know? What happened? Akei the Yitzchak. What else? I want the whole list. Beis HaMikdash.
The ladder.
Yaakov Sulam. Very good. What else?
The brother brought the wheat for the other brother. He had many children. He had no children. He brought
the story that happened.
The wheat?
The story that happened.
Two brothers.
The Shayla story that happened.
Okay. What else? What else? Huh? Bria Soilom, he says. Beautiful. Bria Soilom. Evan Shasiya is there. What else? What else? Noach brought a carbon there. What else? And Vayetze Yitzchak L'suach Basada Taisves in Brachas. Daf Lamed Daled says that's where it was. That was the Sada. Okay. That's what I know. If anybody knows more things. Another thing. Adam Arishain was created from dirt. From, No? Wikipedia. No, what else do you have on there? Does he bring Noach? Does he bring all these things? I don't know. Okay. Zak the Gemara. My Har Miriam. Why is it called Har Miriam? That's according to one pshat that we're talking about Harav Beis. Rashi brings another pshat that we're talking about Har Sinai. This is where, and that's why I had this thing here. We have Lishkas HaGozes right over here. Right here. This blue thing, Lishkas HaGozes. That's where the Sanhedrin sat. That's where the Nevuah came out to Yisrael. That's where they pass in halachas to Klal Yisrael. The fear they saw that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was accepting the karbanas, the whole thing, everything that we have in Yerushalayim, in Harav Beis, that gave fear to the guy. So we had the musar, the pressing of the heart that the zakin told Klal Yisrael, turn rabbanim. Yes, zakin. If there's an elderly person, oimer zakin. Vimlav, and if you don't have elderly, oimer chacham. Vimlav, so you get a chacham instead of the zakin. Imlav, oimer adam shel tzura. Very interesting. Rashi says a tall human being, a person that people listen to, they look up to, like Shol, Meshichmei V'Mala, Otu Zaken de Ka'armi, Avagav de Lav Chachamu. But it says, if there's no Zaken, go to the Chacham. As if the Zaken is just the old man without Chacham. That makes no sense. No. Step number one, first look for an elderly person who's also a Chacham. Then that guy says, Vim Lav, and if you don't have a Zaken who's a Chacham, then you go to a younger person who's a Chacham. Vim Lav, Adam, Shel Tzura, at least he has the physical appearance. Unbelievable. I mean, we need to understand what this means, a physical appearance. Achenu, what does he say? We had this yesterday. Don't think that's the chitzonius. It's not the chitzonius. It's what's inside that HaKadosh Baruch Hu cares about. It doesn't say HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw their clothing and how they look. He saw their actions. You can't go any further than this terrible picture. I want to rip it up. This, whatever. This guy, look at his payas, look at his beard, look at his hat. He's a goy. Goy! Missionary! So what's a hat? Yeah. I don't want to get sued by the... Okay. What's a long zach? You can look at... Who cares what you look like? It's in here. It's the Maseyim. What's this connection? Human beings and animals. What? They're in the same sentence. What did they do? What was interesting over there? Very interesting. Sometimes when you talk to the Rebbeinu Shalom like Chana, you have to come up with your own idea, with your own lashon. So they took the animals and they separated the mothers from the children, and the children started screaming. They needed milk. Nothing. It was like a Ma'aseh Achzarius. Why? Amr lefanav Rebbeinu Shalom. Im ein atam merachim aleinu, ein anu merachim aleilu. You want us to treat these calves, these young animals with rachmanas? What about us? What are we, less than animals? That's what it means. They were talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They came with a taina. Forceful. They were forceful to Hashem. What does that mean? My Amr lefanav Rebbeinu Shalom. Olav she'ein olav, tzaddik v'rasha. When you have a tzaddik in a rasha, a person who's suffering a lot, like a kaviyachal Rebbeinu Shalom, suffering with us all these years. You have a tzaddik in a rasha. Who is always mevater? Who's the mevater? The tzaddik is mevater. Mi nitchem b'nimi. V'yeshu ish medarkei ira u'menachamas asher b'kapeim. They went back from their bad ways and from the chamas, the gezel and the chamas. So we know Gzeras Morish, right? There's a halacha that if you have a beam, you stole a beam and you built a house. So Chacham said, you don't have to knock down your whole house to give it back, just pay him the money. Over here in Nineveh, everybody knocked down their house to return the Morish. They did, I don't know if it's Lefim Mishur Sadim, because it seems like from over here, that la halacha, if you want to get out of it, 100%, if you want that there shouldn't be any aveira left, you have to give back the beam, even if it's on the bottom of the house. You have to knock down your house. You knock down the house. That's it. Why? Because yes, you might not be over on Gezel, but at the end of the day, there's chamas. Chamas asher b'kapeyim. It's still there. Okay. Rashi says, if a person has gezel, what's aveira? In this particular case, we're talking about a gezel. He admits to it. He says, I have gezel. So give it back. I have gezel. Hashem, help me. I want to do tshuva. Meanwhile, everything I have is gezel. Don't worry about it, Yosef. It's chazar, the whole thing. A guy that's holding a sheretz in his hand, the famous sheretz biyadei, toivo v'sheretz biyadei. I have a picture. I want to see a guy in the mikvah holding a sheretz. This, by the way, this is number one sheretz. On the list of Shmona Shiratzim, the lizard is number one. So I thought it was perfect. I know, but it's just a large lizard. You know what? That question was better than the one you had on the gun.
Calev obviously had a chalikus on the guy also.
He doesn't back down, this guy. All right. Zog the Gemara. You can go to as many mikvahs as you want. But also like tefillah. If you have that avera still in you, you're holding on to the sheretz, there's no tefillah. Zrakim yadai. All you need to do, let go of the lizard. Kivin shetava barbam saw. You don't need a lot of water. 40 saw is enough. Miyad like tefillah. The tefillah words. Shenemar. Umayde va'oizev Yerucham. All you need to do is admit, leave it alone. Leave go of the avera. Yerucham Hashem will. He'll have Rahman on you. Vaymer nisa levavenu el kapayim. El kel bashamayim. So again, this idea of lifting your hands up, but it's not just a motion. You can wear a nice rekel and go like this and do all the motions, whatever you want, garnished. If you don't have it over here, levavenu in your heart. In other words, you have to get rid of. We got to go weiter. Indu amdu betfilo maridu fnei ateva zokin. Torah rabbanon amdu betfilo avavishish shom zokin v'chacham ein maridu fnei ateva ela adam haragel. You need somebody that's fluent in davening. In those days, no sidurim, you have to be fluent. Because if you make a mistake, it's a bad siman to the entire community. Rabbi Dr. Mitupol, he has to be a person that has children. Ve'enloi, he doesn't have money to support his children. A person like that is very close to the Rebbeinu Shalom, is always crying. Here's a guy that's also a farmer. He needs rain more than anybody else. So he has everything going for him. Ubeisei reikam. What does that mean? We'll see in a second. We said yesterday, Beis Reikam, again, it means the pashat, simple pshat, he doesn't have money. So we said it twice. Upirkoina, that when he was a youngster, he didn't have any issues. There's no shemra about him. Vishafal, he's humble. Vishval berech, he's humble. Umerutzalam, he's a pleasant person. People love him. V'yeshloi ni'ima, he has a sweet way of singing. V'koile arav, and he has a great voice, he has a pleasant voice. In other words, he knows how to sing nicely, that he's on key, but also a very nice voice. Again, since the tefillah is so full of psukim, you have to know you have to know psukim. Otherwise, you're going to get mixed up. You're not allowed to write down psukim. And the riff is moisef over here, Gemara and other stuff, Brises. That's interesting. Why he needs that, I don't know. It's not really part of the davening. And he knows the whole davening. The Rabbanan pointed out, there's one guy like that. Rabbi Yitzchak, I shouldn't say guy. There's one god like that. Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Ami, he has children, he works on the farm, he's a big gadol, everything. Ask the Gemara, okay, so we just turned to Tezayin on the base. Sponsored by Adam Vales. In memory of my mother Gail, Efrat and Rabbi Gail, Gittel Baz, Pesach, V'chava, Rivka. Sponsored anonymously as a schos for shidduchim for my siblings and myself. If you think I can't do all this in 5 minutes, big mistake. It's mamish, we learned it already. Why?
He got like 2 seconds.
Why? The sponsorship takes longer than the whole Amud. Both mean they don't have money. Says Gemara, no. What does Beiser Regim mean? We said this yesterday. It means he doesn't have a veris, now he doesn't have money. He didn't have a bad name when he was younger. Hashem says, Klal Yisrael, my nachla, my inheritance, ka'arye bayar, like a lion in the forest. Scream at me, I hate her. What does that mean? Why do I hate Klal Yisrael? This is a person we had, unfortunately, in Chicago twice, that the chazan for Yom Nerav was a terrible person, had to get thrown out of the community 2 times where I daven. Anyway, if a person is not roy for the Shliach Tzibur, Hashem hates that person. I saw a beautiful Maisa that, talking about chazanas, that's a tear down the tzibur sometimes. You're showing off your voice. If you don't have kavana, it's a bad thing. But one time on Shabbos Chanukah, I'm saying it because Shabbos Chanukah, Rabbi Elyashiv said he's not going to take a nap, his typical Shabbos nap, because there was chazanas in shul. He already was yaitza Oynik Shabbos, he said. And then I was thinking about it here, and I said, "There's a great story, but I'm going to ruin the story." If Rabbi Elyashiv needs a nap, then he needs a nap. If he doesn't need a nap, why is he taking a nap for Oynik Shabbos? Doesn't he want to learn Torah then? The answer is he didn't like the chazanas at all, and he figured it wasted his time. It was another 45 minutes in shul. It took up his nap time. That's how I'm learning it. Bracha is Shmona Esrei shebechol yoyim u'moisiv aleim oid sheish. Hana sheish. That's not the pshat. Okay.
I know we like chazanis.
Oh, right. You did like chazanis. Okay. So you loved chazanis. I'm taking back my dumb pshat. Okay.
Maybe he slept during that time. No one likes it.
Maybe you slept during that time. Not if you like chazanis. Says the Gemara. We said all this yesterday. Hani sheish. Sheva Havian. Why does the Mishnah say the 6? Then the Mishnah goes on to numerate 7. This nan. The 7th bracha. 7th bracha. It says before in the Mishnah there was 7, not 6. So, bottom line is the pshat is like this. This is Goyal Yisrael. Rei Von Yenu, or Rei Novan Yenu, whatever the Nusach Yidaven. Goyal Yisrael. We make this larger. We make this bigger. We stick in psukim. We do all the stuff, and then you say Anenu Ki Avraham Anenu, and then Baruch Hashem Goyal Yisrael. That's bracha number 1, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about inserting 6 brand new brachas. Where? Right over here where it says Anenu. In between Re'eh and Refuah, we stick in 6. That's why it's called 6. Goy Yisrael happens to be a longer, bigger bracha because of what's going on. Whoever listened to Avraham Avinu, should listen to us. Everybody says Amen. So if you weren't here yesterday, I'll show you again my little cartoon. There's the Baal Tefillah who says all this stuff, and then there's the Chazan, not what we call a Chazan, but the Shamish of the Shul. He goes ahead and he repeats over, and he says, Tiku, blow the shofar, and repeats, Anenu Geram Anenu. So it's first him, this him, great. Mendy, I see you looking at it because you didn't hear the shir yesterday, so you didn't know it was flying. Kidding. After this is done, goes on to the next bracha. And then this guy, the guy without the white beard, the guy in the red beard, the younger guy, he just repeats it and he says, What does Hariu mean? Now he does shvarim, tekiya, shvarim, not tekiya, shvarim through shvar. Everything is repeated. He switches off, he alternates between tiku, shvarim through this, or shvarim, tekiya, shvar. This is outside of Beis Hamikdash. You don't say Amen in Beis Hamikdash. How do you know you don't say Amen in the Beis Hamikdash? We're going to say all this 3 times. So this is what they say in the Beis Hamikdash. V'yevarchu shem kvodecha. What is v'yevarchu shem kvodecha? Baruch shem kvod malchusei le'olam va'ed. U'meroi b'al bracha u'sihila. So Rabbi said, here it goes. Today, we say, Baruch Atah Hashem, Goyel Yisrael. That same bracha, for instance, is just one mashal, but the same thing repeats for Refainu and Shmakoileinu and everything. Baruch Atah Hashem, Elokei Yisrael, Mina Oilam ve'ad Oilam, Baruch Goyel Yisrael. According to the Rambam, you say, Baruch Atah Hashem, Goyel Yisrael. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what happens over here. I know according to the Rambam, I learned differently. I heard from others that you don't say over here. I don't know where they got it from. Fine. Baruch Atah Hashem, Elokei, but this length is different in the Beis Hamikdash, and instead of saying Amen over here, you say Baruch Shem Kvod Malchus Le'olam Va'ed. Maybe at the end of Shemona Esrei, everybody together, Baruch Shem Kvod Malchus Le'olam Va'ed. Not after every bracha and bracha. I'll call bracha sila every single one of the 18. I'll call bracha 10 loy tehila. Vela b'mikdash ma'oimer. What does he say in the Beis Hamikdash? Let's repeat again. Baruch Hashem Elokim Elokei Yisrael min ha'olam ad ha'olam Baruch Goyel Yisrael. And the guy in the red beard says, and then he repeats, that's the second one. And the Vilna Gaon sticks in him. Okay. And then the guy in the red beard says, Shvarim, Tkiyo Shvarim. And of course, when he's finished and saying everything, then they blow the shofar. Every single bracha, alternate. And when they heard about this, 2 problems here. First of all, you don't say Min Oilam Ad Oilam, only in the Beis Hamikdash. And you don't say Baruch Shem Kvod Malchus, only in the Beis Hamikdash. Let's repeat word for word almost. There's 24 brachas. 18 of the regular Shemona Esrei. Another 6. How do you say it? Between Goyal and Refuah. And Goyal Yisrael is long. This is what they did outside the Beis Hamikdash. And they wouldn't say Amen, they would say Baruch Shem Kavod Machuz Le'Lamed. V'kol kach lama. L'fi she'ein olim b'mikdash. You don't say Amen in Beis Hamikdash. U'v'nayit she'ein olim b'mikdash. She'nema kum Baruch Hashem Elokeichem in ha'olam ad ha'olam. As we had the pasuk before. V'Baruch Shem Kavodecha. U'meroimam, and this Baruch Shem Kavod Machuz Le'Lamed. U'meroimam kol bracha u'sila. Akol bracha ten l'tehila. Every single bracha we say Amen. Torah Rabbanan. Again. Al Rishonis Omer Baruch Lekei Yisrael in ha'olam ad ha'olam Baruch Yisrael. V'ein olim achru Baruch Shem Kavod Machuz Le'Lamed. V'chazan HaKnesses Omer. The red guy, Tiku Koyanim Tiku. V'chayz, V'mishon Savram Barim Yanes Chamishma Kol Tzazach Mayimazeh. V'ashni Oimer Baruch Hashem Lekei Yisrael Min Oilam Ad Oilam Baruch Zeich Nishkachos. That's the second bracha. V'enoch Achra Baruch Shem Kavod Machuz Le'Olam V'ed. V'chazan HaKnesses Oimer Riu B'nei Aaron Riu V'mishon Savram. Somebody's going to put this on a clip and say, this is Stefansky share. Listen how fast it doesn't explain a word. V'mishon Savram Yamsav Yanes Chamishma Kol Tzazach Mayimazeh. V'mariam Tagim Miriam. V'chem V'chol Bracha B'Bach Zoim Tiku B'Ach Zoim Riu. It's same words. Who did this? Have a wonderful day.